Good morning, everybody. How's it going today? Happy Monday to you. Wait a couple minutes, a little bit of banter, ad-libbing as we wait for people to join in. Probably not going to have a real big crowd today because there's not a lot happening, but we did have Nadine and Oscar over the weekend. Quite impactful for, the last part of October here, that's for sure. We'll take a look at those features. Certainly Oscar. Oscar was definitely one of those ones that hey, how did that happen? And we'll look at that in this upcoming MJO forecast. It's looks like it's going to be adding to the name storm count, and the ACE score might get to that hyperactive threshold after all. We'll see about that, see what kind of impacts we might be expecting. Let me jump over here, see who all is over on the YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Again, 30 people. Imagine standing in a room. Hey, most classrooms have about 30 kids, right? I've done that before. Spoken to classrooms, 30 youngsters. No audio. Let's see. Uh, audio working. Audio? We'll do the little question mark. Hopefully, we have some audio. There's a delay when I ask a question. Can't hear anything. Well, let's go see what the problem is. What's wrong with Zoom today? So it says the audio is working here. I can see the mic moving, like the little sound thing. Oh, good. All right. Just reading a couple of things. Good. We have audio. Okay, good. So let's go back to where we can see me. So good morning again, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Big week for me. Um, got a wedding coming up. Not mine. That's a long time ago. My son, my oldest son, is getting married on Thursday, and I'm going to show you a picture. I'm going to brag about this because this is cool. Let me share my screen again, maybe. After all these years using Zoom because of the thing, and we still can't figure it out sometimes. It's just not, I'm faster with like my synthesizers and my keyboard shortcuts for video editing and all this other mess, but Zoom is like, what do I do? I don't know how to use it. It's just annoying. All right, so let me get over here. Where did I put that? I think it was in our miscellaneous chat on our Discord. There I am. All right. If you've ever seen me in the field or whatever, like I'm even now, I got a t-shirt on. At least it's a solid color t-shirt. But there's me in a suit. Boy. Yep, we got my son's wedding coming up on Thursday. Kind of a different day of the week to do it. But hey, guess what? It's cheaper when you don't do it on the weekend. And these kids, they need the money to get a house one day, and so they're being smart. And yep, just reading some text here. Got some cool stuff happening this week. So there's me getting ready for the wedding. Tested the old clothes there, tried them on, tested them, whatever you call it. Test drive. So yeah, we got my son's wedding coming up on Thursday. His name is Nathan, and he and his bride to be Lexi. She'll be my daughter-in-law. So how about that? So no update Thursday. Sorry to scare you. Won't be an update on Thursday. I'm gonna be kind of busy. But other than that, it's gonna be a busy week. A lot going on. Today I'm going to be taking the Tacoma over to this company, this crane and fabrication company. Here, there's the business card right there. Edwards. Well, I'll just show you the back. There you go. Edwards. Fabrication, crane, and construction. They made the big old hail guard that is on the Tacoma, and I should have had a picture of it in case you're like, what is he talking about? Hail. Well, remember we study hail here too. And we got to modify part of the that guard, take some of the perforated metal out so that we get better airflow because it was really killing my gas mileage. We'd never done anything like this before. And a full vehicle hail guard, I don't think anybody's ever done that before. And this thing is a true honker of a hail guard, but it really dragged down my gas mileage. So after I'm done with this update and all this chit chat, I'm going to be taking the vehicle over to Edwards and getting it modified so that we can continue using it next year and whatever, and maybe in some winter storms this year. So I'm going to be busy with that. We got the wedding coming up for Nathan, and in between all of that, the tropics. And that's why you're here mostly, right? To learn about that. So let me go back over to the screen sharing and show you what I'm looking at for today. It has been an interesting weekend, to say the least, right? We don't have it on here right now, but we had Nadine, a short-lived tropical storm that went into Belize, and now it's sitting over in the Eastern Pacific, and it sure is to develop, and it will become, I believe it'll get a new name. Isn't that how that works? I haven't kept up with it. I think that it'll get the next name in the Pacific, because here's my theory. If they kept it Nadine, then the ace that it generates should go to the Atlantic. That's how I look at it. So let me jump on the YouTube chat and see what you guys think. When they do cross over, they get a new name, if I'm not mistaken. I know that sometimes, like if they're all intact, they don't. I don't know. It's just weird, and they change it. It seems like it changes every few years. Um, some of you might know what the current policy is, but I'm of the opinion that if it does cross over and stays Nadine, that the Atlantic gets all the points. Just saying, but we'll see. It's not my hurricane center. I don't run it. That's a job too big for me. But it is going to probably develop over there and become a probably a hurricane in a very favorable environment that's in this region through here. And I guess it will get the next name on the list in the East Pack. We'll see. I should just text my friend at the Hurricane Center, Dan Brown, and ask him. And he'll say, "You should already know this stuff." Hey, I can't know everything. But then in the Atlantic, we do have Oscar down here. And boy, what a surprise Oscar was, right? Wow, none of the global models showed it doing anything to speak of through this region right through here. And look what it did do, altering the paths of cruise ships. Boy, I know my friend Craig Setzer. He's probably got a few less hairs now. That is a real problem, especially when you get the Windward Passage in here and all these islands of the Southeast Caribbean. It's over a weekend, and cruise ships are in and out of that area, from Carnival to Royal Caribbean. What other ones are Norwegian? Who there's plenty, right? So yeah, that was a big problem. Then of course, the real issue of not being able to do recon over Cuba, and I've seen a lot of information back and forth about this. And from what I understand, it's not Cuba that says you cannot fly over our airspace. I believe that it is Air Force policy not to fly over Cuban airspace. But even that, I think there is some room for wiggling and negotiation between different weather agencies and different governments. I think it was done during Ike. I mean, come on, we're trying to help people, and it is the United States Air Force that volunteers to do this, so to speak. I mean, they're getting paid, but I'm saying, like, we don't have to provide information to the rest of the countries of the Atlantic Basin, but we do. And Oscar was such a small hurricane, it would have been really amazing, especially if we could have gotten the P3 in there with some of that tail Doppler radar data, because these little microcanes, I mean, literally, Oscar was like 60 miles by 60 miles. It was ridiculous, the whole thing. And the eye was like 3 miles in diameter at one point. And to be able to study those is rare with recon. So anyway, it went in, made landfall in extreme eastern Cuba. And let's take a look at it on satellite real quick. We'll jump over here. This is the broad view. Let's look at the current storms. So Oscar's not looking too healthy today, which is good. But remember, underneath all that convection, there is a lot of rainfall. Very small hurricane it was. Now not so much, but a big rainmaker. And it's going to mill around, and there's still cruise ships that need to deal with all this, right? And it eventually turn back to the northeast and go back through the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, and it's going to have a little bit of a punch to it. It's not completely gone. But yeah, Oscar and Nadine, very interesting. And those systems, by the way, did boost the ACE total. We're up to 144.4 ACE. We are well above the regular long-term average of 122. We're 20 something points higher than average. So we are in an above average season. That is done. It is in the books. Can't take it away. You know what I mean? There's no calling it back. There's no whatever. There's no flag on the play. And you call the touchdown back. We are above average. Now we need to see if we hit that hyperactive mark. I think we'll get a couple more name storms before all is said and done. So probably Patty and Rena or whatever it is this year. I should even know the names, right? Um, and I think that in the postseason, they're going to add a couple of extra storms. I think. It's a couple of them that could have been named storms, but whatever. But we're up to 15 officially. I think we'll get a couple more in this next MJO pulse. And that ace, if we get a long-lived, powerful hurricane, hopefully over the open Atlantic or Caribbean without impacting land, we could push the ace above 175. 20 more ace points is not out of the realm of possibility. It really isn't, especially when we got this coming, this very strong MJO pulse. This is the ECMWF. I'll show it again later this afternoon, of course, on the regular update. But a pretty strong MJO pulse. I mean, that's really strong. Talking about pretty strong. Look at the envelope here of the overall ensemble members, and then the mean is way outside the null area. So for all of you playing at home, that is a highly amplified MJO pulse, very, very noticeable. And that's going to give us that upward motion in the atmosphere down in the Caribbean, especially. And then the GFS is also quite amped up. It's just a little bit slower. It does appear, looks like the Euro is faster at moving it through. And this is an interesting post here from Alan Huffman up there, not too far away from me. I think he's still up in Raleigh. Never met Alan. It would be neat to meet him in person. I followed his work for years. 5 kids. I got him beat by 2. I just noticed that. Anyway, Alan posting, it is a ways out, but by Halloween into the first week in November, we may need to watch the Caribbean for late season development. Consistent ensemble signal here. This is the Euro, the ECMWF ensembles. Very, very aggressive, taking advantage of that powerful MJO pulse that's going to set up shop over here, giving us a favorable 200 millibar pattern, forcing in the atmosphere to allow the air to go up. Force it up, instead of converging where you force it down. And, these are different ensemble members. Don't get too worked up about that. But it is the signal. And this affects more than just the United States, potentially, all right? You got the islands of the Caribbean down there. You got the cruise ship industry, which really starts to ramp up in this part of this time of year. People heading south out of the northern tier parts of the lower 48. And so there's a lot more to this than just, well, is it going to affect Florida or whatever? Of course, we're concerned about that. But we also have Belize in Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and elsewhere. So we got to watch this. It looks like a pretty potent pulse coming up. And looking at the GFSs, the operational from the 6Z run today, and we'll take a look at it later this afternoon when I do my update, the more formal update. There's the vorticity signature of teeny tiny little Oscar down there. I mean, it is very, very small. I'm amazed that the global model at the resolution here can even see it. But let's watch what happens. It takes it out across the southeast Bahamas and eventually shears it out, and you get all that energy just kind of fragmenting into a larger weather feature to the north and east. There's Bermuda somewhere in there. Let me see. Where is Bermuda? Right there. That's Bermuda. So let me make it so I can move these frames again. All right, let's try again. That's Bermuda. So come on, frames, let's go. There we go. That's Bermuda, take three. So Howard and company over there, my friend Jay Correa over at the Swizzle, and Andrew lives out there. I met him. Andrew Moore. Other people that I know in Bermuda, you could get some inclement weather over the next few days, maybe some needed tank rain, and then that system moves on out. And look at this. Very nice pattern over the southeast. You're going to get some warm temperatures with that big ridge of high pressure, straight easterlies coming in. And then we start to see this is out at day 5 right there. Let's just move it to day 5. And the upper levels, the makings of that big MJO pulse. Look at that 200 millibar upper level anticyclone trough over here, strong upper level winds to the north. But down south over the Caribbean, and I can just move this on out. Look at that. A very favorable pattern for something to try to get going over the next week in the Caribbean, a very favorable upper level pattern. So we're going to be watching that very closely as we round out October and get into November. All right. All right. Up to 70 people. That's terrific. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's see what we got over here. What are people asking about? Um, let's see. Adam McDoom. Adam, by the way, I'll see you in December when I come down there with my wife. Yep, Adam knows all about that. Let's see. Yeah. So what was the deal, Mr. Huggy? Right, the power outages in Cuba. I haven't seen much about that. Like, why is Cuba having such power outage issues in the first place? Weird. Sarah, that's an interesting. I didn't even. Yeah, I should just grab one of my. I don't have one of my maps around. I don't have the names memorized like I used to. I'm getting older, so I guess Sarah is one of the names this year. Um, First time, and it replaced Sandy from 2012. Very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, that's my look at things today. I'm checking some stuff out. I think we're still doing the screen share. Yep. We'll pop it off just for a second so I can get ready to exit. So yeah, I'll be looking at all that and more on today's update this afternoon. Probably put it together after the 3 o'clock hour. And then we got to get ready. Got all kinds of family coming in. My brother and his family flying in from London right now. They're on an American Airlines flight somewhere over the Atlantic, way out there. And we got to get ready. We got a big wedding for my son on Thursday, but I will be on top of this stuff as always. And we'll have the update on this afternoon. All right. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. Let me get rid of the telestrator. We don't need it anymore. And you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll prepare the the slides, the content for the afternoon update, and then I will see you then. All right. I'm gonna get ready to go over to the title screen and try to get out of here and take the Tacoma over to that Edwards. Remember them? Started off Edwards. They did that hail guard. If you're in North Carolina, you need any fabrication or you need a giant hail guard, call them up. They'll help you out. Seriously, though, thank you for spending some of your day here in the morning with me. I like this because I can just kind of very informally kind of show you what's going on in my world. We talk weather a little bit, and every once in a while we'll get a guest in too when we have something we really want to talk about and focus on. And a couple more things before I let you go. This is going to continue every Monday for sure. Even in the off season, we'll start doing winter storm stuff next year for the spring weather, severe weather stuff. You know, this Monday morning discussion, lock it in. That's always going to be a thing. And then, of course, when we get something that we really need to focus on, we can do these every morning, you know, as needed. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me a little bit. I am going to first kill the video, and then we're going to do the screen share, and I can exit this thing. There's the title card. You guys have a good rest of your Monday morning. I am Mark Sudduth. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later today on the regular old hurricane outlook and discussion.